Welcome to the class 6 of our wellness education series. Today we're jumping into the topic of toxin-free living, and it's my pleasure, Mary Amber Hughes here as your host, to talk through this whole idea of what it means to live toxin-free. I'm super happy to be here. Welcome. So as we begin, I want to start this conversation with this idea, like it's stated on our screen, that while some interactions are unavoidable, well, I should explain. This is being recorded during the COVID experience, and sanitizing has become very popular. And ironically, the FDA put out a warning. I saw this on the news feed that 9 different hand sanitizers were being used by the public, and they were actually toxic. And the advice was to seek immediate medical attention if you are using one of the products. I didn't look more into this story, but this idea is very important, that constantly we are being bombarded on a daily basis by what we call toxic insults. And some things are unavoidable, some things are avoidable. And, I carry around my Doterra hand sanitizer as my personal option, so that my On Guard hand sanitizer can help me to avoid any unnecessary interactions with toxins and chemicals that I just don't need in my body. So we have that side of the discussion where stuff is out there and what are we going to do about it? So, every day steps can be taken to help mitigate the effects of these toxin insults. By removing offenses and assisting the body in rapid and effective elimination. So let's talk a little bit more about this whole toxic substances. In, on, and around you. They really are around us, most assuredly. They really oftentimes are being placed on us either deliberately or inadvertently, and they are going in us, oftentimes without our knowing, especially if we're talking about someone who has had less exposure to education regularly about health food, and maybe has yet to understand the impact of things like artificial sweeteners, flavor enhancers. Oh, I could go on and on right now when it comes to food substances that aren't good and that are toxin. So what you see pictured here are some of the biggies, like pesticides and herbicides, of course, on crops is huge. Gosh, you've probably seen in the news about Roundup or Monsanto. They can't seem to help themselves but to keep landing in the news continually, because the public, which I'm so encouraged, is becoming more aware of the toxic insult that's being placed on humanity through this toxic farming practices. Pests are pests, right? I grew up on a farm, and I understand the desire to get rid of pests, but there has to be a better way than poisoning humanity in an effort to get rid of pests, really. So car exhaust is the next one you see there, and all kinds of things. It means all kinds of things petrol related. There are so many things from car pollution, and I've heard tell of, actually during this whole experience, I've heard tell of cities seeing mountains that they've never seen before, all because people have been spending more time at home. And that's exciting to hear some of those kind of results of eliminating pollution. Then you see cigarette smoke. And I think as a society, we are pretty well educated on that, especially the American society. When we traveled to Italy, you saw some smoking a bit more. And I think maybe we see that more in Europe and maybe South America still, where we see those that kind of behavior. And we know that with COVID, there is a correlation between cigarette smoking and the risk of contraction, let alone the severity of the situation. All of those things, we have lots of evidence to teach us that these things are hard on the body. Then you see the solvents like fingernail polish remover and other kinds of solvents used in industries and etc. There is radiation, and we might think about a nuclear power plant. I know I do when I think of radiation, but we might not think about our microwave or our computer or those as a source of that. But electromagnetic frequencies and electromagnetic radiation are very much a part of our everyday lives, aren't they? And then the next one would be plastics. And as a public, I think we've become far more aware of the dangers of plastics. I know in our home, we have switched out some of the plastic cups to stainless steel cups that we have now. And then xenoestrogens, maybe a little bit lesser known about these are. Xeno means foreign, meaning estrogens not produced by the body, but fake estrogens coming from things like plastics, birth control, and so many other substances that definitely have a negative effect on the body. And I already mentioned food additives, and you can see those there. So all these things are most assuredly a part of our everyday world. Now, this gets me excited. It's very important for us to note the routes of exposure, because ultimately what we are concerned about, of course, is they're out there, but what's happening in our bodies? And well, while they're entering our bodies, and there are three major routes of exposure that we want to keep in mind. Inhalation. It's the most common. Breathing in toxins when you're sitting in traffic, or after we've well, maybe you've been looking outside and looking at the sky and wondering what's happening out there and thinking that may be coming down on me, or what's that in the air that I'm breathing? That's inhalation. It's huge. Or it could be enclosed doors, indoors. Maybe it's working in an office. I think of that when someone who's wearing a fragrant body lotion or hair product artificially scented, or maybe they use dryer sheets, or maybe you use dryer sheets on your clothing and you're sitting in it next to them day in or day out. Or maybe you're working in a lab or a shop or any place, or maybe cleaning. This has become obsessive. So now we're smelling these cleaning chemicals or inhaling them far more than we used to, because of the excess heightened in protocols and such in places like nursing homes and other public places. The second way of exposure is, of course, on our skin, putting stuff on our skin. Our skin is not just absorbing things from the air, but by deliberately applying them things to them, like hand sanitizer, for example. It's a deliberate application of something that we have considered, and that just because it's on us does not mean that it's not in us. The skin is a permeable barrier. It's our largest organ in our body. So we need to remember one thing from this part. Remember that what goes on you goes in you. And then, of course, ingestion, which we talked about with the food substances. So number one, toxins are real. All right, right? We're not going to deny that. Number two, they do get in us because they're around us and they're on us. All right. So reducing our body's toxic load is not just one of those things that just not a one-time thing, but it's a regular, and it's regular thing that we should be doing. It's critical and a very powerful habit of lasting health that we can take. So the whole purpose of our conversation today is this. It is that to make this a habit, and that toxin-free living is something that you can choose to make a habit for yourself. So the whole, now, as we're going to move on, I do want us to, this is the first portion of our conversation. I want you to think about this car that's in the picture, and what would happen if you never changed your car's filter, or what would your house look like if you never cleaned it? Oh, mine, with everybody homeschooling at home, can you say grungy or grody? Yes, that would be what they look like. And when you spring clean or clean before company's coming, or maybe you're going to get new furniture and you move things around, you find those places that hadn't been cleaned in like so long, and you're like, whoa, I can't believe I was putting up with this. This is toxic. So you know that keeping your body clean has to be deliberate, and it's not something that happens accidentally. Now, of course, our bodies are up to this because they're doing this all day, every day. That's what they're doing. That's how God created them. But when we add toxic insults to our bodies, we add a burden that makes it so that we may need to step up and add extra support. All right, citruses. If you learn nothing else today from this conversation, the one thing I want you to remember is the citrus oil a day keeps the toxins away. If there's one habit to establish, it is to using a citrus oil and ingesting it every day. Okay. So you see some of the benefits of lemon oil listed there on the screen, but now I could replace this picture and the bottle and the title with any citrus oil. It could be lime, green mandarin, tangerine, wild orange, clementine, or maybe grapefruit. Any of those amazing citrus oils that Doterra provides us would all have the same description. The only reason lemon is here is because it's the most common, and you and I it's the most well known to us, and it's a forte. It's the forte of citrus oils. I use lemon all the time to get rid of the grease in my kitchen and in my cleaning sprays, and to get sticky goo off of things and Sharpie and all kinds of ways. So I go through a lot of lemon, like a lot of other oil users, in cleaning, laundry, and I like to ingest it. When it comes to powerful cleaning properties, though, about lemon, there is actually some other stronger oils like grapefruit and tangerine would be two to mention, because the limonene content that you have is about 70% in lemon, and even greater quantities of limonene are in other oils. Okay, so heads up, you can't go wrong with lemon, and you can do even better by adding some of those other orange-like or grapefruit-like oils. Those are going to be perfect. And while you may not combine, why not combine those oils? That's what I was doing yesterday. I was combining wild orange and tangerine in a glass and sipping it in my stainless steel cup. So definitely combine those and put them in your water. You can put them in a capsule, but the most common way to consume the citrus oils every day, you've probably heard this by now in our series, would be to put them in a glass of water. And so if we're going to talk about that, we got to talk about making sure that we've educated you properly for those who are like new to oils, new to the essential oil use world, or new to Doterra. The oils are very powerful, and early on in Doterra, our family did a little experiment with styrofoam cups and citrus oils. We turned the styrofoam cups upside down and dropped different citrus oils on the wells on the bottoms of the styrofoam cups to see which citrus oil would dissolve. The petrochemical, and the styrofoam cup was the petrochemical, and we were looking for which oil dissolved it completely. Lemon was the winner, hands up. So if I'm thinking of more petrochemicals and wanting to get rid of that stuff, I'm going to reach for lemon because that's its forte. Now, grapefruit came in second place, right behind, because our citrus oils are really great for that. So depending on what you're attempting to accomplish, that will determine which citrus oil you're going to choose. And that's why you're going to want to grab your reference guides, like your essential oil books, look at doterra.com, read the resume of your citrus oils and find the one that feels right for you. But whatever the case is, because their capacity to disrupt petrochemicals, you do not want to consume those citrus oils in water through plastic bottles. Use a stainless steel or glass container. So many of us have seasons where we are not just using lemon, but maybe I'll have a lime season, or I'll have a season of green mandarin, or tangerine season that I'm in right now. No matter what you choose, just choose your container wisely. All right, so we are in the NU portion of our conversation, and it is going to center around being NU. We're going to look at the NU portion where we can take the helm and make it a habit of getting after those toxins that get into our system and reside in our body unnecessarily so oftentimes. So Doterra has this amazing program, and I like to listen to Laura Jacobs, who was able to be a part of the development of this program many years ago. So a lot of the information here, almost most of it, is shared from Laura's take on these products. and my own personal experiences thrown in there as well. This program is called Cleanse and Restore, and you can see the bullet points here are featuring some of the benefits. We're going to go into those in a second, but I'm going to break down each of these categories for you. So I want you to see this slide in a couple different ways. There are different ways to mitigate or make less severe the toxins in our body. Okay, that's number one. There are different areas of the body to target in mitigating toxins, and those can be done, and that can be done with daily products. Any of these products can be taken on a regular daily basis, or as noted in the green font there on the screen. It can be taken as a part of the cleanse. So I'm going to talk to you about all of these aspects, okay? First, let's talk about the benefits of cleansing. And have you ever felt like your mood wasn't on your, just wasn't on your game, or maybe that your health wasn't at its optimal, or digestive, system wasn't functioning up to par, or your metabolism just wasn't working the way that you had, it was before, and your nervous system wasn't firing, and things weren't operating the way they had before. Well, if you go through, I am sure that the answer for everyone is we've all felt compromised or less than optimal or mediocre in any one or all of these areas, okay? Now, for some people, it may be a fleeting moment and something that you don't experience on a regular basis, and that's fabulous. For others, it might become your normal no matter what. And I don't believe there's a person on the planet that couldn't benefit from some sort of daily detoxification habits. So again, I've said, if you learn nothing else, if you take nothing away from it, it's that citrus oil habit daily is primo. And that's every day, all day, lifelong thing that you can remember, that we can remember. So for many of us, it isn't going to be enough, though. We're going to need to add more clay there. I've been in the natural wellness journey on mine for we were just reminded of this last night, almost 13 years now. And for myself, I began as a learner and then a student and then teacher. And I've had so much personal experience with detoxification. I've done it so many ways, and I've had so much experience in holding the hands of others along the way. I feel it's a blessing that others that have chosen to do the same. There really isn't enough time to tell you all the stories or to bear enough witness as to the value of what just choosing deliberately to cleanse the body can do. Now, for some of you listening, you're like, yeah, been there, done that. You're going to love, if you're the been there, done that, then you're going to really love the ease with which our Doterra program actually rolls. And for others of you, this might be a brand new concept for you. You may have never thought about it. But then again, it's just like the car or the house. Your body needs regular routine detoxification. So if we look at a program, like this, it is a 30-day program, and that's how I'm sharing it with you. But it can be conducted as individual products too. And so you could take the Zendocrine, see that Zendocrine on the far right, either one of these or both of those products could be consumed on a regular basis. We already know that the LLV on the far left is an everyday deal, right? I think that Kari in this series, and if you know me, that is something that is everyday product. Then Ddr Prime, maybe you take it for a month at a time, maybe a quarter of a year. Maybe you have a certain project that you're working on. You have a priority and you want to take your hormone story to a new level. And so you're using that or those products for 90 days or 6 months while you change things up in your body. So I want you to feel the freedom here of maybe I want to do something for 10 days. Maybe I want to do something for 30 days. I'm going to do that one time a quarter, or maybe one time a year, or 2 times a year. I'm going to take a certain component of this and play it out. Just know that all of those are possibilities, okay? First, let's make sure we've made mention of our foundation products. Since we've already had the car analogy, let's remember a car needs gas to go somewhere. So does our body. All right. So drag your body. To drag your body to the car wash and make it do a cleanse without putting any gas in it is as bad as it really sounds. Ever thought of it that way? A tired body doesn't detox well. The number one rule of detox is nutrition first. So I'm excited to share this with you because I believe in the 90-day program. You've been in our education series. Maybe you jumped into the middle. Hopefully you've made it to week 3, where we've learned about nutrition and supplementation, where we talked about our daily habits program with Doterra. It's our foundational story. We tell it because it's the foundation first. So if you haven't got to hear the story of our foundation first, or you're just getting started, you'll want to go back and listen to those. Your first 30 days, you're working on wellness foundation and strengthening the body. And some of those are the gut products, okay? You want to give yourself 2 weeks. Did I forget to turn the slide here? Let me look at my notes here. No, I'm still here. I think I did. Nope, here we go. You want to give yourself 2 weeks to 30 days to build up the gas in your car, should we say, okay? So give yourself 2 weeks to 30 days to build up that gas and before you take it to the car wash, all right? To build up your foundation before you take it to the car wash, whether it's 10 days or 30 days. If you are asking what's optimal, Laura Jacobs and what I've found, I like at least 2 weeks of the foundations on the supplements, on the Lifelong Vitality and the foundational products to 30 days, 2 weeks to 30 days to get a person nutritionally geared up, and then a month's worth through and then 1 month to work through the 3 phases of the detoxification program. The first thing first is to get your gas fueled up. We've got our micro VMC, which is our vitamins and nutrients, and that's what we need. Those are together. Then we have the Z Omega, which is our fatty oils, which help our brains. That's a powerhouse there. And then in our joints and our heart, and then the alpha CRS, which is like crazy cool antioxidant capacity. So you take all of those together, that is a powerhouse. That is going to help fuel your car. All right. It's very difficult to have bodies go to work to get things done when they are bereft of nutrition. It's kind of like, I like this analogy, a Broadway play without actors or actresses. You can have the script and the messages and the body, but if you don't have nutrition, there is nobody to move the matter around. And your oils do so much better when there is matter in the body. So now the next phase of the cleanse is gastrointestinal. So if you go back to week 3, our nutrition and supplementation, we spoke about Terrazyme. We shared about PB Assist because they're all core. And all science has collaborated on this conversation now about the microbiome, which is all about maintaining a healthy gut and how important it is. And I love this because when I was dealing with my gut stuff, there wasn't as much out there. But now they're showing how important it is that we have a vibrant enzyme activity that is actually breaking down our food so that it can be assimilated and used properly, and then eliminated properly as well, as we have to have the probiotics. That's the PB Assist and the Terrazyme combination here. Those are great everyday products. Now, when it comes to doing a detoxification program, maybe you're already taking Terrazyme like one time with every meal, but the addition of a Terrazyme first thing in the morning when you wake up and one right before bed on an empty stomach, that's 5 capsules a day, is an enhancement, because the Terrazyme on an empty stomach lets the Terrazymes go off and do their work in other ways that they won't when there is food in the tummy. So you can take it to a whole new level when you're on the cleanse. Maybe you normally see PD Assist, 1 capsule at bedtime, but on a detox, you see 3 capsules a day, like listed here, because we're looking to eliminate what's not good in the gut and populating it like crazy with what is. Now, the product that's in between GX Assist, you see it here, it is what I like to call our big gun. This is a detoxification product aimed at intestinal cleaning. It is profoundly powerful product with oils like oregano, for example, tea tree, as well as caprylic acid. And it was designed to put up a sign that says, no unwanted guests. And that you don't need to be housing, like a hotel, little creatures in your gut. You don't need to be housing those that don't belong there. And so when you're moving on to the next part, I really want you to know that there is a difference between this GX I just talked about and the Ddr Prime, which is coming up. All right. So this GX is more gut related, focused on eliminating unwanted guests and toxins from your gut. And it does a superb job at that. Now we move into the area of cellular detoxification. So you can see the program has multiplicity focuses, all of which can be done at the same time, although I'm going to show you how that is staged in a 30-day program. All right. This is the Ddr Prime. This comes as an oil and a soft gel, which is more desirable, I can see, because the summer savory and the thyme and they have a pungent flavor. And so some people don't care to take that as an oil in a liquid, but many people do take it in their smoothie or put with their orange juice. And I can't say enough about this Ddr Prime. I take this weekly and I use the roller on my feet and my family members. And I really like explaining it this way. Did you know your cells need to cleanse? And do you know that cells can get bogged down and they can use a little coaching? So coaching for the cells, should I stay or should I go? That is what this Ddr Prime is. And evidently, should I stay or should I go was an old dance song from the 80s. So you can just think of this as the 80s jig for Ddr Prime, because Ddr Prime is going in and hanging out with your cells. And it's like, hey, where are you at? Are you in like a place where you want to head on out? Your job is done and life over. It just helps to nudge the natural process of apoptosis. Or is it's saying to the cells that you got a lot of life left in you. Let's get you going again. And DDR has the capacity to coach cells like that and to help them sort out where they are in their lifespan and help them do their very best work wherever that is. And then lemon oil, I know I already talked about it, but I believe it deserves a second mention here because it goes in and functions in organs and in tissues. And when we pair it in a cleanse, because it works so well, we do this because it works so well on the cellular level. You know, I remember learning a long time ago about plastics in the body and how they can get stored on the receptor sites of cells. One doctor has even studied and found that these plastics dock on cell receptor sites and can trigger insulin resistance. The cells can get tricked by other substances, toxins, just like we are talking about, floating around in our system, docking on receptor sites. That's what's so bad about the xenoestrogens. They are tricking the body to believe that you are in a different hormone state than you really are. But those citruses, so here's why citruses are so important. If you learn nothing else, a citrus a day keeps the toxins away. They're so helpful. They go down to the cellular level and they really clean out the inaccurate or inappropriate conversations at the cellular level. Now, Zendocrine. this is the final area of the cleanse, is the Zendocrine products. And do you see the word endocrine in there? That's meaning hormonal system of the body. Now, this product doesn't limit itself to just the endocrine system, know that, but it definitely targets it. So hence the fun name, Zendocrine. And this is not to be confused. We do have two products with Zendocrine in the name on purpose, because they get to be seen as partners, all right? So the Zendocrine complex is in the white bottle, and that is the quote unquote, the chimney sweep. So you have oils in these chimneys. And what did we just talk about before? We talked about the routes of exposure, and we have the skin chimney, the respiratory chimney, and the gut chimney. All of those are having toxins come and go regularly. So the Zendocrine complex is a chimney sweep. It literally is helping you sweep the toxins out and keep all of those eliminating channels open and running. Are you open to the possibility that your chimney has gotten clogged, right? You know that clogged chimneys, you know what a clogged chimney can look like. We heated with wood. I knew what a chimney that's clogged can look like, or the skin maybe. That's unpleasant. Okay, a clogged chimney in the body or the skin can be very unpleasant. That can look like blemishes. And with the respiratory system, that can look like some kind of congestion. And a clogged chimney with the intestinal system, I think you've heard of constipation. So the point is that clogged up chimneys are no fun. I've been there. That's what I was in that was the cycle I was in when Doterra came into my life. So why not consider, like I did, maintaining healthy chimneys and keeping them open and functioning? So that's the purpose of the Zendocrine complex on the left. Now, the Zindocren Essential Oil blend that also comes in the 15 ml on the right, the Zindocren oil comes as an oil, a 15 ml, or on the right, you can see this is actually a much more convenient way to take it. It's soft gels. It's very much intended to be a part of the routine daily or intermittent cleansing, or periodically as the detoxification program. When you look at the oils in the Zindocren Essential Oil blend, this is a very special blend. Brilliantly, these oils were put together, and you've got tangerine, all of the sting citrus, all of the gut. I just was learning that it is anti-parasitic, and it's a vermifuge and a vermicide. Geranium, so good with the liver, gallbladder, pancreas, skin, heart, hormones, adrenal glands. Rosemary, so good for the adrenal glands, respiratory system. Juniper berries in here, it helps target urinary system. In a very gentle way, these guys do this. Cilantro helps with the management of heavy metals. And if you study up on heavy metals in our body, and when they're excessive, you'll find out it's not a happy thing and you don't want it. So this is a great way to support your body. All right, so this may not be as clear as I would have liked it to be on here, but this shows you there are four parts that have, here are the four parts that have been explained, okay? You want to get with the person who invited you. We have this documentation that's all put together on how to do this as a cleanse, and we can get this into your hands. I mentioned it can be done in 3 phases, and all of the products we just talked about are seen here in this chart. They're all organized by the category, and then they are also staged. And what I'm talking about is you will see stage 1, and what you do in stage 1 is listed there, and then you will see in stage 2, and you know what you take in stage 2 and what you take in stage 3. All right. So you will see that on there. Now, to ensure success, everyone is being encouraged to establish the foundation of fuel in phase 1 within the addition of the Zendocrine products, because we're going to get these chimneys running. And then in phase 2, you're going to target the gut for a few days, okay? And then in phase 3, we're getting the cellular health and repopulating the gut with all the good things that it needs. This is a very well constructed program, and it really is amazing. And this documentation is available to you just ask. Print it out, put it on your bulletin board, put it on your kitchen cupboard, and get set to work. And I will talk to you about how to get this program in the best way possible. I also want to show you that they have this to go along for our families to support the whole family. There is the 30-day breakdown for children as well. And I use this with my children. We love it and have found great success with it. It's gentle and effective. All right. So now for this first portion, we get ready to move into the second portion. And this was really about make it a habit to participate in the detoxification practices for your internal health. We talked about citrus oils. We talked about the entire 30-day program, or bringing in any of those components, even starting with the LLV program. Don't underestimate the power of that powerful trio of the LLV, the vitamin kit. The Alpha CRS has wonderful, potent detoxification and cleansing invitation to it. So just getting the vitamins and minerals in your body is going to get your body doing the amazing natural cleansing processes that it was already created to do. All right. So here I want to just go and explain that I would do you a disservice if I didn't take a moment to mention your diet, because foods are your friends and they are very much a part of your process. And you always want to think about the foods that you are choosing. Always, always, always make good choices to eliminate those artificial flavors. Always make great choices to eliminate the artificial ingredients, to eliminate the flavor enhancers or the junky stuff that's just bad for us. And eat a high proportion of fresh fruits and vegetables and healthy meats and fats to maintain a healthy diet. All right. And I want to give a mention to Doterra's Slim and Sassy line here and our Terragreens. It is so simple to put together some protein shakes with greens and a smoothie or a shake. And the protein shake we have can be done as a meal replacement sometimes or every day. We have a vegan formula, we have a chocolate formula, and we have a vanilla formula. And then we have the Terragreens you see there next. Terragreens is getting a huge amount of fresh veggies and fruits into a very concentrated format. And I personally like to take this because while we eat vegetables here in our house, I know that just through some research that I would have to eat 19 apples now to equal an apple that was produced and grown 20 years ago. When I learned that, I was like, whew. So I know that my body needs these Terragreens, the vitamins and minerals. And when we're talking about healthy eating and making healthy choices, we have to stay on top of that. And we need to have some things in our home that are going to help us to make those. And this Terragreens, the Trim Shake, which is now our protein shake, they help us to do that. Another product is the Slim and Sassy Gum that's pictured there. It's a great way to do just that, to stay away from more toxic gums and to stay away from more unhealthy, sugary temptations. So I like to chew that after I've eaten my lunch or my breakfast. And then I make sure I'm drinking plenty of water, and then I remind myself to eat my lunch. So before we jump, so now the second part of our toxin-free living is to learn more about on you and around you. But before we jump into the details of that, I just really want to talk about repurpose and replacing. So take the dollars that you already are deliberately spending, and it's not about spending more money, it's about spending differently. And that's what our family did. When I came into Doterra, like I switched out because I was in that perfect storm and I had a lot of things that were toxic insults to my body. When I realized that they were in my home, I totally wanted to swap some of those out. And so I had to take the funds that we already had and invest them into Doterra. So to swap out some more toxic, and we're talking about what I did is swapped out some more toxic or unproven choices in my home, or unhealthy choices in my home, with Doterra oil infused options. And you're going to really love this. We're going to go and look at 3 categories. The first one is personal care. All right. At the bottom, I've reminded us of our exposure. All right. Again, we are inhaling it it's going in our skin, and it's going into our digestive system. So here, I want you to think about these kinds of exposures in your own life. And so on the far right, we have the toothpaste. Have you ever read the label on the toothpaste you used as a kid, or you may still be using, and seen the warning on it to not swallow the stuff? It might hurt you. That's ingesting toxins. So, and then on you, we've got face care products. We've got deodorant, we've got shampoo, we've got all of these things that we're putting on ourselves on a regular daily basis. And the problem is that so often they're full of toxins. And that's what I found when I was on my journey too. The on you portion is going on you, and what is going on you is going in us. And we are having negative impacts from that many times. People are finding these things happening to their body, to their skin, to their breathing, to all these things, and they are trying to figure out where these insults are coming from. Now, the other thing that's troublesome is shampoos that almost across the board, most of your skincare, deodorants, these all have fragrances in them. And I think that we're getting better. The fragrance-free thing has gotten a lot better since I was a child, but people are using fragrant products on their skin, on their hair, and then you and I are having to breathe in those toxins all day long, or they're breathing them in, and that's just not helpful. So what I want you to know is that Doterra has some amazing deodorant. Here you're seeing on the left, the Balance deodorant. It's natural, smells like balance. We have seen special oil blends in our deodorant, like limited time oils, a couple like the Citrus Bloom. We've had Beautiful. And so you can actually use this deodorant and have some options. Sometimes they have a unscented, a sensitive skin option as well. We also have a couple skincare lines. I use the Doterra skincare, and I love how it makes my skin feel. And then we have the Doterra hair care line. And Doterra really is wanting to bring us products that are toxin free or as toxin diminished as possible. And so Doterra makes every effort to reduce as many toxins as possible in their products. And that is what goes on you. Okay. Now, when we're going to talk about around you, because cleaning is such a huge thing, and sanitizing is such a big deal, and hand sanitizing is a big deal, and making things smell pretty is a big deal in our house. We want it to smell good, right? So think about the cleaners in your home. Think about how you're sanitizing and washing your hands, or how is your family doing that? Think about your laundry. What are you putting in your laundry? And by the way, what is being fumed in your home via the dryer, for example? The aroma is incredible of those dryer sheets. And candles, I have been given the sweetest, most thoughtful gifts from a friend, but I wasn't able to keep it in my home. It was a candle, and its fragrance was so overpowering that it took over my home. And it was sad because I couldn't benefit from that gift, but I couldn't handle the toxic, aroma. The number one thing to know when it comes to green cleaning and green living is about Doterra's Abode line. So with the Abode line, you can rest assured that your cleaning and your household products are what you've been looking for. They're like what I was wanting: natural, non-toxic, and effective. And the Abode oil, you don't see it right here, but you see the healthier option for laundry soap and cleaner spray. They contain this blend, and Abode is an oil blend of lime, Litsea, cassia, lemon, eucalyptus, tea tree, arbor vitae, kochi, eucalyptus, cilantro, lavandin, and lemon myrtle. This oil blend keeps your home smelling clean, provides a fresh citrus aroma, and it contains powerful surface cleaning essential oils. Okay, so you're trading parabens like formaldehydes, formaldehyde donors, PEGs, dyes, triclosan, synthetics, fragrances, phthalates, petroleum-derived ingredients. You're trading all of those for certified, pure, tested grade essential oils, simple ingredients. They're of the finest quality from nature, and they have ingredients in them like limonene, geraniol, neuriol, 1,8-cineol, and those things help for cleaning surfaces and for keeping surfaces clean. So that Abode blend I just talked about is found in our multi-purpose surface cleaning concentrate that you see there on the left with the amber spray bottle behind it. You literally just dump the whole contents of that into the bottle, and you can spray down your greasy surfaces, clean your oven, clean your, your walls, all kinds of things. Another option is the On Guard's Cleaner Concentrate that has been out a little bit longer that most of us are using. And that is for pennies per drop that you're using that, okay? The next thing you'll see is you'll see the foaming hand wash with lotion infused with citrus bloom. The Abode's beautiful durable glass bottles are brushed metal pumps. They allow you to buy once and simply use the concentrates. I love this, and refillable pouches to fill and refill them. So the packaging that Doterra has come out with their home line can be reused or recycled, and they're glass or aluminum, and that are used to make this line. It's so that it's good for us and good for the planet. Okay, so you have hand sanitizer that is fantastic, like our family. It's right there in next to the soap pump. You want to use that because we take that hand sanitizer our family does with us when we go places. It's in my purse, in my diaper bag, in our vehicles. It's the normal before. It was normal before to do it, but now it's even more normal. So that is definitely an option. And then you see laundry detergent. Doterra has laundry detergent with this Abode blend in it. And those are the laundry pods. And I can just tell you that my washer trap is clean, and my washer has a really good smell because of using the laundry pods on a regular basis. All right, in our laundry daily. And then on the end, you see the Volvo diffuser. It is a great option and great way to let our wonderful oils that we have permeate our house. They're with pure aromas, and it doesn't only smell good, but they do good things and they go to work for us. So we have lots of great options when it comes to cleaning. And I want to go back to my purpose and replace slide. This is the invitation to take the same dollars you're already spending and repurpose them into buying toxic-free products, okay? Now, it says at the bottom, did you know many of doTERRA's non-toxic alternatives are cheaper than their toxic counterparts? If you're looking at things at face value and cost value and just trying to compare dollar to dollar, you may not see that until you understand the concentration and the quantity, okay? Now, we use all of these products in our family that you see here. They are terrific. They last a long time because number one, it doesn't require much of them to use. And number two, they're generous containers. And when I look at the cleaners, the hand soap, for example, it's pennies per dollar, or the the cleaner concentrate. They just, it only takes 2 tablespoons of the soap. You put it in the bottle, the bigger bottle. And when I'm cleaning my home with my essential oils, it just is pennies per drop. Also, or the candles aren't cheap, but for a couple drops of oil in my diffuser, I can, go all day long with that diffuser. It runs 12 hours, some of my diffusers do. And then the hand soap, because it's a concentrate, it's coming out in a foaming format, and you're getting a tremendous number of uses as a result of that. So they really do go a long ways. All right. Now, we're going to look at cooking with essential oils. This is the third area that I wanted to talk about. It's so fun. I like it and I enjoy it. Now, sometimes I don't know if people really understand the level of cooking toxicity that might actually be happening. So your typical store-bought spices, you see them on the left. Did you check the label and ever see if they're growing them stuff organically? Anytime you're buying things like that, you are talking about concentrated amounts, okay? So if they're grown in an organic way, you're talking about dried, super dried, small, think like peppermint leaves, think of it, or oregano, tiny leaves in a bottle, all crumpled up like that. Think about the concentrated amount of pesticides or herbicides as a result of taking it in that format, okay? So this is an example. You see black pepper there on the screen. It's amazing in cooking, in your cooking, and cinnamon oil is amazing. Those are two common spices that in the kitchen that can be replaced. Your spice can be replaced with a full drop or just a toothpick portion. So one of the biggest tips with your spice oils is to dip a toothpick down inside the orifice of the bottle, take it out. So not even a full drop is on there, and then swirl and stir that toothpick into whatever dish or beverage or batter or whatever that you're making, and flavor your food. Now, the citrus oils, I mean, if we're thinking about citrus oil, citruses are good. Why are we picking on citruses, right? And they are amazing. However, are they organically grown? Are there pesticides on the skin? Are you using a lemon in your water that the whole outside of the peel that you just stuck in your water glass is covered in pesticides? Because those pesticides they feel really gummy on and sticky on the produce, and they don't just wash off from our fruits or vegetables very easily. So how often are you ingesting potential toxins in the name of detoxification, thinking it's good that you're doing, putting a citrus in your water? So another good mention to using our citrus oils, not as an everyday wellness habit, but not just as that, but also in your cooking and cleaning habits. I love to add a drop of wild orange to a cup of fruit salad with apples, tangerine segments, and pineapples, and toss that around. It's fabulous. Then you can add blueberries at the end. At the end, people ask where and who made it. It's just delicious. It's like a bed and breakfast treat. Then lastly, the herbs that you see there on the right. Who doesn't want fresh herbs and cilantro in your salsa? But once again, is it organic? Are you using toxic-free herbs in what you're making? And it's common in our house to have fresh basil or cilantro in our meal. And it's organic. It is organic when we buy it, but we're also adding cilantro or basil to it as well, oil to it. Like I like to add it into my hummus and my salsa. You can flavor your hummus with it, add lemon, or I make a basil salsa or a basil salsa, a basil hummus. When we make a dessert, we're adding a drop of cardamom in, or a loaf, if we're making a loaf of banana bread, add a drop of cardamom in, or drops of peppermint to your dish, brownies or your shake or whatever it is. So these are just wonderful ways for you to choose to live toxin free. All righty. So just as our final parting thought, remember we began with looking at the internal experience. It is likely that the kit that you purchased to start doTERRA with, you already own a citrus oil and you've already been using it. And I just want to say great job for already making that ultimate a citrus a day keeps the toxic away decision. And hopefully you've heard our earlier weeks and have been introduced to the lifelong vitality and the importance of daily habits. You've heard about Terrazyme and PB Assist that aren't new friends. You've been hanging out with them hopefully already and incorporating those into your lifestyle. You've already put some time in with your wellness foundation and you're ready to take the next level. And here's what I want to say. Give yourself 60 days, 30 days of wellness foundation, and then 30 days of detox. On the other side of that 60 days, meet yourself. So right now, I know Kari had already encouraged you to evaluate yourself, but right now, take a little assessment of yourself in your own time, but jot down all the things that you're not loving about yourself. And we don't like to do that, but we know those are the things we're thinking about. Those are the things that come up. And then what's mediocre about yourself? And then look back at your assessment after you've invested 60 days into your foundation and your wellness, your detoxification, and you're going to be amazed at the new you. I just know you are. So you're going to need to restock on your LLV, your Terrazyme, your PB Assist anyway, on a monthly basis. we're consuming those as part of our daily habits. So what doTERRA has done here, you see on here, our sample wellness box, they conveniently already have this kit, plus the additional products like the GX Assist, DDR, Zendocrines, a new bottle of lemon because we're using up the last one, right? And then these are all bundled together for tremendous savings. And so anytime doTERRA puts anything in a kit, it's going to be considerably less expensive than buying these products individually. You need to remember that. I can't say enough about the very best next purchase on your LRP rewards order is to pick up this Cleanse and Restore kit. You see the free oil of the month club over here and the free oil credits and the shipping credits. And that's all because you're participating in the doTERRA loyalty rewards program. And that way you get to earn product points and find out more. You can find out more about that. We've talked about this in previous conversations in our series, but please be sure to learn more about that. And by all means, learn about how to get the oil of the month for the free. They give away the most amazing oils, and so many times they're offering oils that we can't buy. And who doesn't like a free, laurel leaf or palmarosa or Japanese peppermint for free? And they come along once a year oftentimes. So you want to grab them when and if you can. And as long as your order is 125 PV by the 15th of the month, then those are the three ditties really. 125 PV or more by the 15th of the month, and it's an LRP order, you're going to get the free product of the month. They just put it on automatically. You don't have to click anything. It's generally always worth, in my best guesstimation, probably between $12 to $15. So that's sweet. Like, I think, think like this, like, what store am I not going to, what store are you not going to try to get 15% off of something? That's really good. Plus, then you're getting your points on top of that. And then that's just fabulous. So then you see the Virage set there. There's another collection that you can pick up along with any of these other individual products that we've talked about. And that's our skincare collection here, the Virage. It is different. We have a different one that's called the Essential Skincare Kit. And you can look more into doTERRA skincare lines. They are beautiful. They're wonderful. I actually use most of the products from both lines between my morning and evening routines. And with 70 PV, you in this package, it's a great way to get yourself to that 125 for the monthly LRP order. So there you have it. I have really enjoyed this conversation and time together in week 6, talking about how to live toxin-free in our wellness education series. And so I want to thank you so much for joining me, and have a great blessed day.